Am I the a-hole for reporting my sister's boyfriend to his job after he pranked me with fake eviction papers? Okay, so I feel this blew up way more than I expected, and now my sister is mad at me. I, 26 female, live in an apartment complex my dad owns. I pay reduced rent, but it's still a legal lease. I have a contract, etc. I work full-time and handle my own bills, so it's not like I'm just mooching. My dad just wanted to help me save while I get through grad school. For context, I'm in my second year of a master's program in social work. I work part-time at a crisis shelter, and honestly, things have been stressful. A lot of what I do is literally helping people avoid eviction, so that might help explain why this hit me so hard. My sister Emma, 28 female, has been dating Nick, 30 male, for about a year. He's one of those guys who thinks he's the funniest person in the room, but mostly just makes people uncomfortable. Weird jokes that just aren't tasteful, pranks, and he thinks of himself as an alpha male type. Trust me, I wish I was kidding. He's done stupid pranks in the past too. One time, he swapped out his co-worker's decaf coffee for regular as a joke, and the guy had a full-on panic episode at work. Apparently, he had a heart condition. The man reported him to HR, and Nick just laughed it off and said everyone was just too sensitive, and that it was a harmless prank. Not sure why HR didn't do more, seeing that his co-worker had a literal health condition that could have been worsened by his harmless prank. Nick came over a few weeks ago while my sister was helping me move some furniture. I left them alone in the living room for maybe 10 minutes while I ran to get coffee for all of us. When I came back with our drinks, Emma and Nick went quiet. I was a little concerned, but my sister said it was nothing. Emma and I were moving this crazy heavy dresser my grandma had gifted me, and Nick had made a comment like, "If you just got off your lazy butt, you wouldn't have to take people's leftovers." I looked at my sister shocked, like WTF. She'd just told him to knock it off. He just shrugged and went off into the living room. A couple days later, I went to check my mail and see an envelope in my mailbox. It's an official notice of eviction that looked pretty convincing. My heart stopped. I thought maybe I missed some clause in the lease or something happened to my dad. I started to freak out and was crying. I called my dad in a panic. He was just as confused and asked me to send pictures. He said he didn't know anything about it and hadn't authorized anything like that. For a while, I honestly thought about all sorts of possibilities. Maybe some stalker or random jerk found out where I lived and was trying to scare me. Or maybe there was some kind of error. But something I did notice when I inspected the letter again, I had seen it was sent out with the same company Nick works for. A day or two later, I brought it up while getting drinks with my sister and Nick, along with a few mutual friends of ours. The second I mentioned the envelope and my worry that someone could be messing with me, I noticed Nick starting to act a bit weird. He stopped making eye contact and engaging in conversation and started fidgeting with his phone. My sister had also gone quiet. I kept thinking about that moment in my apartment and how odd it was, plus the company that had served me matching up with Nick's job, and how surprisingly unfazed Emma was when I told her about the eviction notice. Eventually, I had pulled her aside from the rest of the group and had asked if Nick had anything to do with it. After some hesitation, she admitted it was him. According to my sister, she didn't agree with it and Nick thought the prank would be funny. I could take this as a lesson, not to rely on daddy's help forever. He apparently thought he was being funny and giving me some motivation. I was shocked nonetheless. I was mad at my sister for even letting it go on, and Nick for being so insensitive. Who in their right mind would find this funny? Which it is crazy because, again, I pay rent, I work, and my dad offered me the apartment because I help manage the property when he's out of town. Here's the part that really angered me. Nick had known I've been struggling. He's heard me talk to my sister about burnout, about feeling overwhelmed with work and school. He's literally sat across from me at dinner while I vented about clients at the shelter being scared of eviction. This is where I might be a bit of an a-hole. Nick works in property management. Like it's literally his job to handle leases, evictions, inspections, etc. So this wasn't just some random prank. He had used actual template formatting from his company to make it look real. I was livid. My dad too. After thinking about it for some time, I reported him to his company's ethics hotline. I sent them photos and explained what happened. Well, they took it seriously. He was fired for inappropriate use of power and other pranks he had done. Now my sister and Nick are blaming it on me. My sister is saying I ruined his career over a joke. My mom is begging me to apologize because he was just trying to be funny, and Nick has anxiety now. I get that maybe I should have just yelled at him or confronted him directly. But honestly, I was worried if I hadn't reported him now. What other pranks could he have done using his job as a dumb joke? He had given me a severe panic attack with his prank, made me question my housing stability, and forged documents that looked extremely real just to prove a point? All while knowing I was already struggling. Now my mom and sister are saying I took it too far and made it a work thing. My brother did take my side in this, saying if you hadn't have done it, I would have, and agrees that he is the one who took it too far. I just want this whole thing to be over with, and dealing with this crap from my family, plus my school and work life has really taken a toll on me. I just want to know if I'm crazy or not, and thinking that reporting him wasn't a mistake. Thank you for listening to my hopefully not long ramble. I just need some advice here. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Obviously, you're not the a-hole. He used company stationery to send a false eviction notice. He has a habit of this kind of behavior to other employees. Honestly, if I were you, I would cut out your sister until he either apologized to you profusely or she dumped his alpha male butt. What a dipshit. This is important. OP needs to simply refuse to have any interactions with this person. He should not be invited to her home, and she should refuse to attend any family events if Nick is present. His behavior is unacceptable and should not be tolerated. We need to normalize completely cutting people off when they behave like this. Of course, you're not the a-hole. This wasn't a joke. If it was a joke, he'd never have been fired. It was a misuse of company property. He's literally just facing the consequences of his own actions. He's an immature bully and deserved everything he got. Totally. If it was just a joke, HR wouldn't have fired him. He played a dumb game and won the consequences. Not the a-hole, obviously. He was probably pretty close to being fired after almost killing a coworker. Companies don't love pranks that open them to litigation. Bingo. HR is there to protect the company's interest. Someone abusing the company name and equipment and causes harm to coworkers is a legal problem if left unchecked. So they took steps to protect the company. Had this really been a joke, he would still have his job. Next story. Am I the a-hole for deciding to not invite my sister to my wedding because she's dating and wanted to bring my cheating ex who assaulted my fiancé? I'm 28 female engaged to Nate 30 male, and we've been together for 5.5 years now. Before Nate, I was in a relationship with James 29 male, and that ended 6 years ago when I caught him cheating. He tried to win me back and I gave him no attention for that. Then he found out about Nate and confronted and assaulted him in public and got arrested for it. At the time, I was sure Nate would run for the hills, but he never blamed me. And we're so happy together and looking toward our future. My sister Valerie, 27 female, and I were always close. That started to change last year when she became distant and off in general. Our whole family noticed it. Then we found out in February it was because she started dating James. She rushed to defend herself and him, and she promised he was a changed person, but I refused to give him a second chance, and Nate didn't want an apology from him either. Valerie tried to talk us around, but we held firm. He could have seriously harmed Nate when he attacked him. I found out through my brother that Valerie was planning to bring James as her +1 to the wedding, and with that heads up, I decided she wasn't going to be invited. Even without a +1, I didn't trust her not to bring him along. And given she's dating him, I am questioning our ability to have a relationship anymore. She knows what he's done and didn't care about the impact on our relationship. I told the rest of my family Valerie was no longer invited, and at first I had everyone's support, but when Valerie learned this and pleaded for me to invite her and to stop pushing her away, my other sister told me I should invite her, and not inviting her is basically ending my relationship with Valerie, which is too much. Nate doesn't agree, and he thinks we're doing the right thing. I have the support of the rest of the family as well. I do think I'm doing the right thing, but what says Reddit? Am I the a-hole if I don't invite Valerie? Not the a-hole. By the way, tell your sister, the ones who's pleading Valerie's case, that it is Nate's wedding too, and exactly how many people she herself has invited to her wedding, who had viciously and violently assaulted her. I didn't ask her that, but she said Nate would accept it if I did, which I think is crazy to expect. If we were being generous, we could let Valerie in and have security to stop James. But the expectation will be eventually he'll be welcome, and he won't be. Your sister doesn't give two shits about you. She's dating your abusive ex. You wouldn't be the a-hole whether you choose to invite her or not. It's your wedding day, not hers or your sister's. As for your relationship with your sister, she made her choice when she got involved with your ex. Changed or not, some lines just shouldn't be crossed, especially within family. In my eyes, she already showed who she values more. Now she has to live with that decision. That's how I feel too. Her dating James shows so much. Exactly. Stand your ground and don't be pressured. I wish you all the best on your most precious day. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to do something special on my wedding day for my sister because she refused to do something for me at hers? I, 30 female, I'm getting married this Sunday, and my sister Jessica, 28 female, got married 2 years ago. A couple of weeks before her wedding, my ex left me for another woman, and it was devastating because I thought that he was going to propose soon. At my sister's wedding, I asked her if she could throw the bouquet to me as to wish me luck, but she refused and said that she didn't want to damage it. I asked her to lend it to me for a couple of pics instead, and she refused that too. I said nothing more, and I didn't bring it up again until now. Okay, my sister is pregnant and wants to announce it at my wedding. She asked, and I said absolutely not. When she asked why, I told her that 1, the wedding is for my fiancé and I. 2, she didn't do what I asked her to do at her wedding. So why would I do what she asks in mine? She's mad and says that I'm being ridiculous. Our mother says that I'm being childish. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Also warn your DJ that if your sister starts to speak, he should turn up the music, because she's definitely going to try to announce it anyway. I would just uninvite her. Do you really want to worry about a guest who will probably misbehave at your own wedding? And also, let mom know that mom, must apologize to me, and that if she acts out at the wedding, such as announcing the pregnancy or saying I'm a bad person for uninviting sister, she'll be kicked out. Not to mention that I'd email all the guests today to tell them that sister asked me to use my wedding to announce her pregnancy. You need to announce for her at your rehearsal dinner. This right here is effing diabolical. Takes the wind right out of her sails and foils any planned sabotage. Brilliant. Even better, instead of announcing it yourself at the rehearsal dinner, which admittedly is deliciously aggressive, you could instead be deliciously passive-aggressive. Stand up at your rehearsal dinner, or take the opportunity during some other speechifying moment and say, and now sister has some blessed news that she wants to share with the group, and hand her the mic. You'll look sweet for giving her her moment, while simultaneously and deviously undermining her ability to take that moment herself later at your wedding. Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to give my sister the wedding dress I bought, even though I'm not getting married anymore? So I, 29 female, was supposed to get married last year, but my fiancé and I ended up breaking things off a few months before the wedding. It was mutual, no drama, just a realization that we weren't compatible long-term. The thing is, I had already bought my wedding dress custom-made, cost me nearly $4,000. I know that's a lot, but I paid for it entirely myself, and it meant a lot to me at the time. After the breakup, I packed it up and put it in storage. Haven't been ready to sell it or do anything with it yet. It's emotional. Here's where it gets messy. My younger sister, 24 female, recently got engaged. We're not super close, kind of different people, and she's always been a bit entitled, honestly. She came over a few weeks ago, saw the dress when we were organizing my storage closet, and asked if she could have it for her wedding. I kind of laughed and said, no, that's mine. She got annoyed and said, but you're not even getting married. You're just going to let it rot in a box? I told her again no, it's personal to me, and even though I'm not using it now, I'm not giving it away. She asked if she could buy it at a discount, and I said I wasn't ready to sell it. She threw a fit, called me selfish, and said I was being dramatic over just a dress. Our mom is now involved and thinks I should just give it to her as a gesture of sisterly love and because it's going to waste. But I honestly feel like she's only asking because she doesn't want to pay for one herself, and she's not exactly struggling financially. So now I have my sister and my mom acting like I'm heartless and petty for not handing it over. But it feels like a boundary I want to keep. Gee, Mom, I decided you were right. I shouldn't just let it rot in a box. So I sold it or donated it. Then put it somewhere they will not find it. Store at a friend's house or rent a small storage unit until after the wedding and offered to donate money to sis as your wedding gift, since she seems to be hurting for money. Not the a-hole. Vicious, but I like it. Not the a-hole. Watching someone else wear the dress you picked for the happiest day of your life would be like watching them live the future you lost. That's what your sister is asking you to do. To sit there at her wedding and see her in your dress. The one you stood in front of mirrors in. The one you cried happy tears in. The one that was supposed to be yours. And smile. And pretend it's fine. It's just a dress thing? God, it's never just a dress when it's yours, is it? It's every hope you had. Every plan you made. Every version of yourself you imagined walking down that aisle. Even if the breakup was right, even if you're glad it ended, that grief is still real. It's custom-made, meaning it's not going to fit her perfectly. Say you are asking $4,000. She won't pay it. When Mom complains, ask her to pay it for your sister. Mom, it's win-win. She gets this beautiful dress, and I get my money back. Now Mom will make excuses. Mom, you just told me how important it is for sis to get this dress. Just pay the $4,000. Mom will quickly drop this topic if it comes up at family gatherings. Mom wanted me to give sis $4,000, but she wasn't willing to do so. I thought her motto was family helps family. Guess not. I'd go on the offensive because it's fun. Sounds good on paper until Mom decides to buy OP's dress for her golden child. Then OP is left, once again, looking like the a-hole by saying no and moving the goalpost. The risk isn't worth the petty reward. Sister only wants it because it's free, or she wants to rub sister's nose in it. If she's gleefully selling, then the joy will be robbed from sister and she won't want it anymore, or will want a different dress if $4K is on the table. But OP can buy another dress for $4,000 when it suits her, which is a win for OP if they take her up on it. Wearing the dress you picked out for first wedding might be a dicey subject in her next relationship. I'd be thrilled if I tricked Mom into buying it for $4,000 for sister.